so it's came out to 7,283 hours.
Whatever, I'll discuss it when we get there, I guess.
We are now live.
Okay. We can open the meeting at 6:01. I think everybody's present except for Ben this evening. If everybody got a chance to review the October 9th meeting minutes, we can get those.
So written.
Do both public and non-public in the same approval. So I have a second.
I read through it, I don't see any changes.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, looks like if you have any updates, Bill, that I had the solar, this is in no particular order, but the solar PPA.
Well, I informed him that, we're gonna go with this, and he is now in the process of putting together all of the stuff that's gotta come and setting up a contract with whoever, and then he'll put together a timeline and get back to us. And
Right, cause those are like privately funded, right? That's
yeah,
what-
so he's gotta, like, there's gotta be some privately funded guy, so he's gotta talk some privately guy.
Right.
Here, here's a
Okay.
good deal,
Just say in motion.
so it's in process.
Okay, appreciate that. Any updates on the SOP tracker?
Oh, yes, I have.
Bill.
SOP.
He came down today and I tried to sit with him, but I was bouncing around like
Well, you got called away.
I had to run to the well and then I had to run.
Yeah, but you got me started with
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I wanna review exactly what we're doing, and I made 6 copies. First thing I wanna do is go over the Excel spreadsheet. Where he's not there. Excel spreadsheet has got 3 parts. One is the first page, which is a listing of all approved SOPs. There's nothing approved yet. That's why it's blank, but the categories will be there. They'll have that code that we're gonna have on the front of every title. We'll have a title, where it happens, the number of people, where the document is filed, either on the computer and with the path to it, or in file cabinet 5 or something would go in that slot. And then the idea is if something was due to be done, you would put down when it was done. So this gives you a couple things. One is this coding will tell an operator or supervisor when they're supposed to do something, because you can sort them what's supposed to be done daily or weekly or semi-annual or quarterly. And that'll show them, they can clump all those together so he knows what he's gotta do. So then when he does it, he fills in that he did it. Now from a supervisory point of view, you can sit down and look at the sheet and just look down through it, and if it's blank, it's blank.
Right.
You know, and that makes it easy to track. The next page is SOPs that are in the process of getting done. You notice I included all the ones you put in. Okay. The first 3 are ones that I've been working on. The other ones are the ones that he suggested. Anytime a topic comes up that we need an SOP for that, or for this, then this should be put in here. And then you can decide the urgency and the priority and that sort of stuff. But we can keep track of the SOPs that we want, but we haven't got them through the whole process yet. The third sheet, which was supposed to have been 1 sheet but turned out to be 2, is an explanation of all of the codes and what goes in what box. And so, like, we have 3 major quantities, you know, the stuff that's to do with the water, the stuff that's to do with the sewers, and then general, like, you know, this building and cleaning it or something. And then it's what kind of, is it this outgoing stuff, incoming stuff? And all of these categories you can read through, and when things are supposed to be done, and that way, that fills out the body of the Excel spreadsheet. Are there any questions?
Well, the first question is gonna be, let's look at one of these and see what it means, but you got it, this is what the second sheet was, those 2 pages are.
Yeah, the first sheet is the listing, the second sheet is what's in process, and the third sheet is instructions on how to do it. Because I mean, there's some things like there's 2 1 boxes. Well, okay, daily. Well, what does daily mean? AM or PM? You have to do it first thing in the morning, or is it something you're supposed to do before you close at night? Weekly, if it's supposed to be done weekly, what day of the week? 1 through 7. You know, you put the day it's supposed to be done. But this also aid in planning things. Because if you got too much in one day, you can maybe move things around. Monthly, quarterly, annually, and then there's a category called N, which is as needed, which is like mowing the lawn. You know, if it's wintertime, you don't want to mow the lawn.
This will come in handy when, I think when you're trying to get Tobin settled, if he goes in that,
Yeah.
be able to refer to it.
Yep.
If you're not here.
That's the idea is
Anybody.
staff comes, staff goes. Once we get this up and running and get it populated with the SOPs and how they get categorized, then somebody new comes in, they can, you know, any of you guys can go there, turn it on and see where we are with all this stuff.
Yep.
It might be
It's a
pain
tool.
up front, but yeah,
Yeah.
it'll be good in the backside.
It's just a tool,
Yep.
and it's only gonna be as good as we use it.
One of the big things with it, which I like, is sampling frequencies. Because it's so sporadic.
Right.
I mean, you have stuff that's quarterly, it's easy to miss something.
Yeah.
I think
So-
with one of the last people down here, right, we were
The toxicity.
yeah, we were getting reminded, which was fine, and it wasn't, it's not, I'm not putting that on him either, but, yeah, it'd be nice to just know right at a time.
Yep.
Yeah, because when you can, you know, you're going to sit down and plan the week, you can pull up all the daily stuff and weekly stuff. Once a quarter, you pick, you know, quarterly, which is the second month of the quarter, because the first month of the quarter is doing the first month quarterly stuff, etc.
Anybody have anything they wanna add or questions?
One thing I'll add is, it can kind of go into this as well, but I had a meeting with Jordan Brock, the engineer. He's the one setting up the ArcGIS, and so we've got it set up now too, so we can do manhole inspections. I downloaded it onto the iPad, so I'll get it out and show you. It'll be easier just to show you.
Did he send us the new,
Yep, the new map.
well, yeah, I know, but he had a different type of inspection report.
Yep. And it's pretty detailed, it's pretty good actually. And then, so once you do it, you upload it. So say you do an inspection, you send it all through, you fill everything through, and then it'll go and you can put it onto an Excel spreadsheet. So when it comes to our collection systems reporting, our annual report, we'll have it all in an Excel spreadsheet that it was done. So say, all right, well, so here's the map that he put together. That's all the manholes in the whole entire
Okay.
system.
Wow.
So if we go to one, say we'll just pick this one here. Gravity, and then, so it'll tell you everything about that manhole. But where it should, It's not doing it on here. I did it on my phone earlier. But it pulled up. So, oh, actually, let me do this. So we'll do a structure evaluation. He's still working out a few details on it. So here's our evaluation. Why it has this there, but- So you go date, time, inspector, the structure ID. He's changing that so when we click on it, it automatically puts that structure ID. So every manhole has an ID number to it. Then you just go through, answer everything. Invert depths, you can in and out, how many inverts there are, sizes, material, what it is. Then you give it a grade further down here. Rim to invert measurement, pipe diameter. So if it's an asset, and then you click, like if you have infiltration gushing in, you click on that, and you'll get a whole grade out on this thing. You can do, so you click on draw, it'll pull up a compass. So you orientate yourself north and then draw your pipe, how it comes in, so you have an angle. And if there's other pipes coming in, if it's a drop inlet, whatever. Things take forever to load up. But then it has a spot where you can attach photos, and you can take up to 5 photos.
That's nice. Huh?
So, and when you're done, you hit submit, and then it'll submit everything. And then when you pull it up on the ArcGIS, you can pull out, which he's going to do another training with us on how to populate it all onto an Excel spreadsheet.
So is there a note section where you can,
Oh yeah.
so you can put in like
Yep.
what we need for risers and BS type of thing?
Yep.
So you can
Yep.
do your inspection
Roll
and
a
then go
brick.
back there
Yep.
in a year and just like, okay, we know we need
Yep.
a 6-inch riser.
A lot of
2 round
these,
bricks or
like-
whatever.
Like if it's barrel block manhole, you score it as a 3, or a brick manhole, which
Okay.
old brick, which all ours are precast, so that's good.
Right.
The biggest thing we're going to be looking at is infiltration, if there's any surcharge. There's other things in here, like significant grease or debris. It's not going to be a scoreable thing because that's stuff you can just take care of, but you can make note of it. So next time you go around and you got grease in there again, well, somebody needs
Well,
to
yeah, but
grease
then
that,
also when you
clean
line it,
or-
yeah, right, right.
Yep.
I can see where
That's
that'd be
great.
big.
Yeah, no, this is a nice,
You
this
can
is a good
start
floor.
cornering it down too.
Right.
Yep. Yeah,
Right.
because when you track the next one up, and
Right. You can start cornering it.
yep.
So that's like any document that you have as SOPs that are already written and this sort of stuff. Once again, if you just put the title sheet together and get it listed, it'll help you decide when to go check the manholes.
Yep.
If you're not supposed to do so many every month or so many every quarter or whatever.
I'm planning on doing a couple tomorrow, just so we can fill these out.
Yeah.
I can submit them. That way Jordan can review them,
Yeah.
and if there's any changes that need to get made, they can make them. And he's open to suggestion, because if we find stuff that we want to add to that inspection sheet, he can make the adjustments and add them.
It'd be nice to have.
Yeah.
Okay, now, for every SOP you write, there's a cover sheet. And the cover sheet, once again, is basically that code, okay, which you would get the code from the Excel spreadsheet. You have a title. There'll be a brief description of what it is. where it's filed, and when the SOP was approved. But just because somebody writes an SOP, somebody else should approve it. And on the other side is just to keep some of the most important factors that you pull out of the SOP, the number of personnel, estimated hours, tools and equipment, and a listing of any supporting documentations, which might be a user manual or, in this case, that program he just was referring to. And by having that as the cover sheet, somebody can, you don't have to, if you've got, well, the first time I came in here, the guy came up with a book like this. I said, you got any SOP? He says, yeah, there's this thing. Well, that book might have chapter 4, paragraph 2 might be important for this SOP, and the rest of it doesn't apply. So supporting documents get referenced, any supporting document. Okay?
Yep.
Then the next document is a document that is for the manual. So there's the manual that this is referenced. This document gets attached to that manual because that manual might be used in more than one SOP. So if you've got a manual on how to maintain that equipment, and then 2 years later, the vendor calls you up and says, we made a mistake, go into chapter 3, paragraph 5, and do it for 15 minutes, not 10. Now you have to go into all of the SOPs that reference that paragraph. Putting this with every manual will give you a listing of all of the SOPs that it's being used in. So if you get it in for one, you now know you have to go and fix all of them. Otherwise, because I've seen this, where
I've done it, right.
you have multiple things referencing a manual or a procedure or
I
something,
think you got them all.
and it comes back to bite you. One more document and I'll be done. This is my cover sheet for my tracking tool instructions for my tracker, for the Excel spreadsheet. It's basically very simple. And there's a description, and then there's this one page is the whole document. Okay, I just did this as an example of how you would do something like this.
Yes, oh, right. Now it shows, right.
And so it tells you where you're supposed to put what you're supposed to do. Now so that's open for discussion and being approved by whoever you want to approve it. And then we'll have one we can put on page 1, just to get us all started. So, with all of the SOPs that you currently have, you've just got to put together the cover sheet and the manual sheet and put the listing in the Excel spreadsheet. And now, one of the categories is that you can put also, let's say, okay, we got this SOP, but I'm not sure we want to do this way anymore. You can go put it into the in-process sheet where you put new ideas, and you can list that one there, and you can put down that it's being revisited, recalculated, redesigned, or going to be replaced, and that'll keep track that has to be done. In the meantime, the SOP will be in the SOP sheet, so your daily, weekly analysis, sorting things, you'll still be able to use it, but that'll also give you the trigger to bring it back out.
think that Justin would be the best one to approve this, right? 'Cause this is the instructions on how to do it, so if this makes sense to you, right, that's what we really need, right, is someone else to
Right.
read it and make sure it makes sense to multiple people.
Justin and I have reviewed this, 2, 3, 4 times or more.
Okay.
And I've incorporated some of his suggestions, and here's how we should do some of it. So, and it's a living document. You want to change it, you just change it. But change means you might have to change it in a lot of places, so you want to minimize that.
Thanks, Bill.
So,
Yep.
my suggestion to Justin is not look at this as a great big mountain that we have to move, but pick an SOP,
Yep.
any SOP. Do the cover sheet, put the now, the one that's, the piece of paper that sits with the manual, you might wanna buy some plastic,
Yeah.
thing that goes in,
Yep.
otherwise it'll get,
Mhm.
and then you gotta attach it to, physically to the manual.
Yep.
If it's a physical thing, if it's an electronic one, then we have to figure some way to
Back it up.
attach the electronic manual sheet to that,
Mhm.
so that when it comes up, you have both of them.
Yep.
So some of those little minor details that will never turn out to be minor, have got to be worked out.
Yep.
But this will give you a tool that you can use. So my suggestion, Justin, you get, I know, I mean, the whole concept of having 15 minutes where you're not doing something, but, and then a lot of it is just, paperwork.
Mhm.
So what's that young kid's name again?
Tobin.
Tobin. If he has some spare time, he could be trained to,
You're
Yeah.
allowed to see if he can run with, some
Yeah.
of these and actually do it, right? That's the best approval process, is
Yeah.
to see if someone unfamiliar with it can do it. And I think as we get into the colder months and you have nothing to do,
Mhm. Yeah.
no, but you know what I mean, like there's
Yep.
a little bit more free time in the winter for you than,
Yep.
so we're getting to a point where, and I think he's right, if we, get one in there and that'll get the ball rolling and especially, at least jotting down the ones that we want, right? Like that's the
Right.
easiest line to fill in, cause it's,
Yeah,
then we'll just start picking them off. Right, we could make this page as long as we want.
yeah, on any of these pages, it's just go forever.
And some of them might be easy, and some of them you might write as you do them.
Yep.
And, even maybe the hydro flushing one's easy, cause
Mhm.
Tobin just had a pretty good experience with that,
Yep.
so.
I remember there was some SOP, when Rhonda was here, she wrote this one-page SOP and it just said a bunch of just the instructions in it,
Mhm.
without the paraphernalia around it and stuff. But
Yep.
if that's an acceptable SOP as of today, then that's what you just have to make the cover sheet,
Mhm.
get the code in there, so it's, when you sort, that'll pop up in the right place, monthly, daily, weekly, whatever.
Yep.
And then, and it, you might wanna take, what's that young kid's name again?
Tobin.
I'll take you
It's
one.
odd name.
I'm terrible with names, I always have been. Took me 6 months to remember all you guys. Maybe you can, send them to some place that'll teach how to work with Excel.
Yep.
I could,
Or buy them Excel for dummies or something.
Buy it for me first.
as I say, it's a super powerful program and I can muddle my way through it. And,
Yeah.
but I'm sure I'm not even scratching the surface.
Yeah.
Well, there's free classes online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll send you guys the link.
thank you. So the putting the data into the sheet is one thing. Next thing is getting the data back out again, like sorting it.
Mhm.
And when you sort in Excel, you can you got all these columns, you can sort by this column is the primary and the next column is secondary, and this sort of stuff. So you could sort by quarterly, and secondarily with water sewer, okay? Or you can change the mix depending on what you wanna get out of it.
Notes on that?
Done.
Right.
So basically you suggested that Justin and Tobin experiment with following that sheet, and if that's acceptable, then we can get it approved next meeting.
Yep.
That'll be number one. Alright. They asked me to put the next one back, well, I had it on there, this part of it, but, you had also suggested, this on there was the pay period update process and how we wanna handle that.
So that calendar there is for everybody to look at. So the light blue is the current water sewer, goes to the next page too, is the current water sewer pay period, which would be paid on that first Monday there. Right? And then the suggestion is we do this switch the week that includes Veterans Day. Because if we do it that week, normally the staff would be paid on the 12th because town hall is closed on the 11th, so they wouldn't be cutting checks on the 11th, so you'd normally get your paycheck for that week on the 12th. If you sign up for direct deposit and we make this switch, you'll get the direct deposit on the 13th, so it'll be a 1-day difference, and then you'll be on a weekly cycle. So it seems like it would be the least impactful on you guys, because it would be a 1-day delay in your check instead of feeling like you're waiting a week that first time. So orange is what the pay period is for the all other town employees, and is what we would move on to.
So
basically-
this Monday you'd get paid for the blue period, right? So you'd get paid
Yeah.
for up until the 7th.
And then dark blue, whoever works that weekend, either you or Ernie, that Monday you would get a check for those 2 days, or
This month,
The
so
same
directly the next day you would get a check for those 2 days.
because that would end out the, so that's kind of an in-between pay period.
So you,
Do you know if that's Ernie's weekend or yours? That would be easy.
I'm not sure, I'd have to, I can look it up.
Well, it's the second and the third, so I mean,
Let's see. This is this weekend, right?
yes, it would be Ernie's,
Ernest. Yep.
so that'd be even better.
So what you're saying, so then you're, instead of starting here, your next period would start here on Monday instead of Saturday, so that's Ernie anyway. So this would be some.
So this, for this week, here,
Yeah.
we would get paid on Monday. And then for this week, we'd get paid on the 13th.
Right. If you have direct deposit, if you do a physical check, you wouldn't get paid till that next Monday, so there would be a week delay.
Yeah.
Because she said when she enters it into the system on the Wednesday, banks generally show it as available to their customers.
After
Yeah.
5.
Whereas if you get the check, you have to wait until the date of the check, which is the next Monday.
Yeah.
And then it would just be every 7 days like you normally have now, so you wouldn't even notice. It would just be
You'd actually, the 20th, right? Direct deposit would go on the 20th. So, right.
one day that's skipped, when is that made up?
So they're paid in full, it's just the payment is you
Delayed
get 1
day.
day, so
Oh.
they're not missing a day's pay.
So it's not
just-
like we were talking last
We're
night.
trying to do like a half thing, yeah, they looked into that and said
Yeah,
that
like
would not
withholding
go
a week,
well,
yeah.
Well,
that was.
I can look in his eyes and say it wasn't going well.
Yeah, they were, town hall was, said the same thing, they're like,
Basically, it'd be 2 days late.
Yeah.
it'd be 1 day late, cause.
With the holiday,
Yeah,
right.
on the 11th, there'd be nobody in town hall to cut the check anyways, so.
Yeah.
That one was already gonna be 1 day late, even if he stays on the regular pay period that we currently have. So that's the suggestion, if that's too soon, we can look for the next Monday holiday, if this makes sense to everybody, and do it on the next Monday holiday.
Drove me to Martin Luther King.
Oh,
Yeah. So say the next one. but I
I
don't
think it would.
Oh, yeah, everything else after that was not on Monday.
Yeah, every other holiday is
That
coming
makes
up after that
sense,
is
Yeah,
Thursdays.
yeah, it makes
So
sense.
just
Maybe
like,
we-
I don't care if you
I'll-
wanna do it, I just wanna know if it makes sense first.
Yeah, it makes sense, and then I'll show Tobin too. This is a lot easier to read than
Okay, good.
trying to describe it to him.
Right.
So is Tobin on direct deposit?
No, none of either of us are.
Our current account wasn't set up to allow direct deposit, so
Okay.
it wasn't even an option for them. So
Yeah.
now that we have the new account, it's an option.
So now it is an option.
Now it is an option.
Yeah. You know how to set up direct deposit? Who does he see?
Phone's right there, I got
Looks
copies.
like we got
Yeah,
the
forms.
this stuff right here.
All right, you're right there, Adam, right on
I'm
top of
trying.
it.
All right.
Would you wanna set up for direct deposit?
Oh, yeah.
Out of these,
Yeah.
It does make life a little easier.
Yeah, it does.
Well, your wife get access to it quick.
Yeah.
Do you wanna wait and talk to Tobin and then?
Yeah.
And then let me know?
Yep.
Perfect. And then the other banking stuff, do you want me to just do that now? Mike?
Yep.
Okay, sorry.
Sure.
So we've moved the operating account and both of the project accounts over and the funds. I've already used the operating account for payroll this last week, so I don't know if you even noticed, Justin, there was a Mascoma check instead of a TD check.
Yep.
Okay, so.
I got the debit card too.
Okay,
Sarah gave
and
me
then he's got the debit card for the general fund.
Yep.
Accounts payable you'd be used for that next week when we do the first accounts payable run, since we made the move. Everything's worked fine. We have access to me and Sarah have access to the account now, whereas before, that was one of the main problems with TD is we weren't able to actually use their online system to look at all of the accounts the town had. We were only able to look at 4, and the town has like 20 accounts. So it was just the way it was set up, and they wouldn't let us add any other, so we had to wait till the end of the month to get the statement in the mail to actually balance anything out. So it was a real hassle, and they weren't paying interest on most of our accounts, so that's another reason we moved. CWSRF loan has been updated. Thank you, we faxed that in. She called and talked to Sarah, because Sarah's the name on it, so they talked about it. That's fine, and it'll start working just like it was. We'll get the.
Okay, we have 2 disbursements set up to be.
So when the disbursement comes, they'll send it to that account and everything will be fine. The asset management grant, however, the person from DES told Sarah, if we move that one, that's set up in like the vendor payment system for the state, so every payment the town receives on a whole, room and meals reimbursement, highway block grant, would have to be moved to that account. So that money will continue to go into the town general fund, and then the
Okay.
town writes a check to the water sewer department for us to take it back. So it's been set up in the town's general account, not in our account, for that reason, because the way the state gives that money out, the grants come from a different department, so it has to go to the same account for every department in the town. So we're not changing that one, because we don't want the highway block grant and all that stuff coming in here and us writing checks back, so. Yeah, true, yeah, we'll take it, but we don't wanna give it back. And that's, I think, everything for those two.
Great.
Any questions on the banking?
Yeah, so Jeremy had mentioned something about trying to take credit cards and wanted to know if we were all
Yeah,
in
I
favor.
have some paperwork on that, and didn't
Okay,
make it on
I
here.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Alright, as long as you got that, I
Well,
will.
we'll do it kind of in maybe the billing and
Okay,
section.
that's
but
fine.
yeah.
I didn't know where you were gonna stop it, that's all.
Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna put it, so, I'm glad you reminded me, I gotta pull that stuff. Alright, social media page, I guess I'll just show you real quick. Try not to look at my Facebook stuff, I don't know what's going on. Switch over here.
Well, it can't be anything too dirty.
No, not like that.
So is it a page or a profile that we've decided to go with?
I mean, we can delete this. I set it up as a page, but then, yeah, I thought about that after. Is it, right?
I don't remember what the benefits of either or are, but I know there are probably
Well,
differences.
You can still post as a page, like if we wanted, but I would have to, like I tried to invite the page to the Troy residents, or whichever one it is, page, and that wasn't really, I couldn't do it that way. There's a way to do it, there's people with pages posting on there, or one of us can just share it, I don't know. I think it's better set up as a page and not an individual, there's a little bit more control, and then multiple people can have access to it, so it's not just controlled by one person.
Yeah, I mean, with the Legion, I set up a page for the Legion, and then I had the commander and the adjutant and this sort of stuff, you got access. So they post things.
Right, and one of us can share it. The only thing that I find to be an issue with that is, like, the page itself won't be, it doesn't matter what my preferences are, the people that I have blocked, the page is the page, right? That doesn't translate to the page. But if I were to share something to the Troy page, my guess is the people that I have blocked would not see it.
So it's maybe a pseudo, like the town's Jane Smith.
Yeah, I would prefer to be more transparent than that. I think if I message some of the admins on the page, like the Troy page, they can invite it as a follower, a friend, or someone that can post in it, and then the page can post itself. I gotta verify that. But I built something really quick that people can't post on the page, right? We can give updates through it. It's literally a screenshot of, satellite view of the lagoons, just the background and the Troy, kind of Troy seal as the profile picture, right? So it'd be just for us posting updates really, and then we can share them out, or we can figure out how to do that, or we set up a person, but I don't know. That seems a little bit.
Mr. Pickle.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look into it a little bit more, but,
So if you make if you post something, can people comment on it?
they can comment on the post, they just can't make their own posts on the page.
Right, okay,
Right.
that's what I think about it.
Yeah, like people couldn't log on to the page, like
They can.
followers couldn't
They
go on
can
the
comment,
page.
but they can't,
They can comment on our posts,
but they can't put their own.
make their
posts.
own posts,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, and then I think I turned off messaging because I don't know who would police that or look at it, so. So if everybody's all right with that, we can just, I would just ask who wants to have access to it. I don't wanna be the only one, I will, but I don't wanna be the only one. And then, we'll just do like a introductory post. I mean, I put our mission statement in there as part of our about page. So, and then we can track a lot of stuff. There's already 2 followers, I don't know who those are, but, I did one for the planning board, and I get multiple new followers daily, so, and I'm about to make 2 posts for them in there, so, any comments on that, or suggestions, or thoughts?
think I like it.
Yeah, and I think
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and maybe even Jane Smith can share it in those moments. If, you know, I'm trying to think of someone I know that doesn't have anybody blocked from town, but I think that's going to be kind of difficult. I'm sure there's people that have me blocked, put that way. So, so I mean, I don't mind sharing it. Multiple people can share it. That's always better. It'll get to see more people and.
And I would think that the commission, the chairman and the secretary maybe. I know you guys have kind of the most things to do though. As far as the commissioners,
I don't think I wouldn't post anything in here without the commission's permission anyway.
Okay.
I wouldn't be going rogue, that's the only thing. I don't want anybody to be doing that, so, and again, it would just be, and I don't really, if things get dicey in the comment section, we'll just shut off comments then.
But there might be something that is just a constant update. Whoever's doing the update should be the access rather than having to funnel it all through you.
Yep.
So,
And then, and we can pin stuff right to the top so it's always available and things like that. That's why I think the page kind of
Okay. Like all of our press releases we can put at the top.
Right.
Yep.
Yep, and then again, DES had sent an email to us about,
Share DES links to their
videos,
trainings,
right, they have
and stuff
videos
there.
about water and what they
Yep.
do and what we do and all that stuff. That would be great for them to understand. Ben had sent me a great video about rates and what rates paid for and all that kind of thing, which is pretty neat. Alright, so I guess if everybody's alright with it, we'll continue with that, and I'll let Ben know that you've nominated him for access to the page.
As I type all of his minutes again, so I'm guessing it'll be me.
And maybe I'll by the time we do the next meeting, I'll have like an introductory post, or we're gonna go over that kind of the kind of press release you called it. Maybe that could be our initial post. Just try it out, see how it works. Okay, I just kind of left this one in here, just to keep on you guys and
Yep.
about Tobin and.
So, yeah, I have an update on that. Tobin is signed up for the test in December. I sent
That's
him.
right, so that,
I sent an email out to Dick Emberley because I didn't see where, because you have to set up a profile on DES. I had him sit down, set up a profile. He put in his work experience here, but I didn't know where to put it in because it says additional work experience, but it's specifically asks you questions on wastewater treatment. So we've got to sit down, we still have to sit down and do the resume style, and then we can upload that onto his profile as well, which I'm hoping with what he has, by the time he takes his test, he's going to be at like 6 months.
Right.
So hopefully, you're knocking on the door of 6 months. So hopefully he worked for 3 years. So hopefully they knock 6 months off and they go with his full grade 1.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
So-
and Dick's the best guy for that.
Yep.
He's the one who said to.
And he confirmed that he saw his application and it was under review with the board. So,
Superb.
hopefully he gets in. Hopefully he passes. I've been throwing him little quiz
Yeah,
questions
great.
here and there
Yeah.
that he's probably going to see. And
That's great. I think he'll do well. I'm sure it depends, right? Some people get nervous in testing.
some of the questions I've asked him, he's like, huh? Like it's going to be on the test. Most likely going to be on the test. So.
Is there a manual for that, or like some sort of study guide? Or?
He's signed up for the prep course
Okay.
in November. So
perfect.
it's a 3-day prep course in Franklin. They'll get him ready with that. The next thing is the math. So hopefully he's good at math. And I told them, show all your work. Pick out the formula, you write it down, and when they do it, it's not computer based, it's literally paper, pencil, and you write out your formula, plug your numbers. Even if you get it wrong, you can get partial credit. So, in each math question, I think is 5 points. So,
You guys are on it. How about,
yep.
the billing shut-off payment SOP, here's one that we can get in there as well. I know Ben had a lot of stuff to do with the budget, some other things, so I'll give him one more period here, or do we need to at least give Debbie?
Debbie would like
Something.
something, even just a very basic, like
Right.
one sheet that says, you know, readings are done, send bills out, X days later, do this, X days after that, shut off lists, or whatever.
Right, does
the
she?
right- That's what she would like.
Yeah, and I had a conversation with her too, and I've been, yeah, I think we've all been busy, but, so, yeah, when I had talked to her, we're like, yeah, just billing, late notice, shut off,
Right.
and then something about payment plans, but
Yeah.
payment plans we can kinda,
Payment plans, I think, was, cause when I talked to her last about it, it was just basically she, is looking for like either example one that, you know, hey, we as a board say, anybody that's in this situation, you can offer this without needing us to approve anything, like this is the standard. You give them this many days to pay it, or whatever we decide that standard is. Anything outside of that, then it would have to come to this board, I assume, would be my.
yeah, I
Preference.
don't wanna, yeah,
We don't need
shy
her
away, but
trying to-
I don't think we can address every scenario in a SOP, really.
Right. But I think if there's just the, 99% of payment plans should look like this. And if it looks like this, then you don't need to wait, you just put them on that plan. That's
Right.
our standard plan. If that doesn't work for the person, they need to come to this board. The person does, not town hall.
There you go, okay. So, is there a period now that she's waiting before billing, or is it just kinda when we complete it?
I think the start of the billing is normal, I think that's
Okay.
worked, but I think it's just after that, I feel like my secondhand hearing it just being in that office is just, she's not sure when to do the next thing, and she'll either wait to be told to do it, or she'll be like, oh, I gotta reach out to Justin to, if I know I can do this or not, like, it's like, well, just, so if we know 10 days after this, do that.
Is there some sort of check between meter reads and before billing goes out, just to verify anything? Like, is there times where she would be like, well, like, these three didn't read, or I didn't get a reading on these, or do you know ahead of time?
Yep, no, well, I usually pick them up if there's an error.
Yeah.
I'll know. And then we do a reread. She'll send me out a reread list.
Okay,
So then, before the billing even goes out, can you go reread these ones?
okay.
And I'll go out, and sometimes it'll come up an error, and then I'll go back out and it'll read.
Right.
And, okay, perfect.
So she does that
Yeah.
preliminarily, alright.
Yep. I think we had it knocked down to like, there was only maybe 5 rereads that we had to do. There wasn't very many.
And then do you know what normal billing, is it like 30? What do we usually, has there been a
30 days.
standard, or like
When the
billing
bills
due
due,
date?
that's
It's like
standard of
30
30
days.
days.
30 days. Is there a grace period before like this is all stuff for.
So this is where it got into that's why we have people that are on here for 2 quarters, 3 quarters, because that wasn't communicated clearly in what we
Yep,
expect
that's fine.
to
Okay.
the billing, so.
I'll make up something temporarily, can we all agree right now that like a 10-day, not really written, but a 10-day grace period before late notices go out, or is that too long? It does make it long, right?
It would give them like basically 2, because it's gonna take a couple days to get the mail to them,
Mhm.
so if it was 10 days.
We
Yeah,
wanna-
sure.
wanna do 5 days? Just cause I hate to see something come in on the 31st day, right?
Right.
And then there's like, is 5 days, then at least we can say, hey, we waited, right, like, clearly didn't mail it on the appropriate day, and then we'll talk about the credit card side of it and online payments, and maybe this is,
Maybe this gets it all going anyways.
and then,
We have to look at I didn't pull them up, but look at our ordinances, cause it might actually be in there.
okay,
About the end of billing cycle, what happens as far as,
and I'll just give her a quick, I'll send her an email, just like a bullet, ding, 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 and then we'll, when that comes up with the whole SOP thing, we'll give a very formal one. Do we have an idea of how long, what late notice to shut off? I'll verify all this, but do we have an idea what that was or no? Where are all of our ordinances online?
yep, on our
Right on the
page.
website. I have a copy of it there if you want.
All right, I know we got the job posting up, thanks Adam for the office admin. I think Jeremy had asked about renewing the license operator,
I didn't respond,
Okay.
but we wanted to, right, just continue
Yeah.
to keep updated.
Yeah.
I haven't
We're
gotten into
doing
it,
it,
so,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we'll leave it up.
I looked on NHMA, I was verifying that the office admin had gone up, and I saw like, there's a lot of water sewer postings on there. Like,
Oh, yeah.
recent ones, like, cause it's chronological, newest first, so our posting was on page 1, and I went back to beginning of September, and I mean, it's probably 10 or 12 per page, and I bet there was 15 water and sewer, licensed operators people were looking
Maybe I
for.
should look.
Nope. You're ineligible. I checked. Yeah, City of Portsmouth, City of Manchester,
Yeah.
Merrimack, there was a bunch that are looking for licensed operators, so.
Yeah.
And those are obviously bigger
Yeah.
cities that are able to
Okay.
offer some things that we aren't.
Any other old business in here anybody wants to go over that I missed? No? Okay.
Oh, one more thing on the SOPs, so we set up a file structure on the computer, so there's directories, so SOPs that have been written on an SOP file, stuff that's being processed on another file, the Excel spreadsheet is in another directory, so Justin knows where they all are.
Okay. I noticed, on one of these it had the address, like the internal address.
Like the one I wrote,
Great,
yeah.
yeah,
So there's a path there.
yeah, there's nothing for us to write. I know it's on the computer. Is it in this folder?
Yeah.
This folder? Is it in this folder? Is it on my external?
Search.
Okay. Alright. Oh, hold on, yep. Credit card payments. So, I know we kinda talked about it last time. Briefly, we just mentioned it, I guess let's revisit it and see if anybody has any thoughts on it, and then what Jeremy had given me basically stated that, I'm gonna verify this, but while I'm looking for it, that if we did it online, and you might be able to correct me, that there's no charge for us, the user gets billed the convenience fee. If we wanted to have I guess on-site machine up at town hall, it'd be like $40 a month, and the user would still get charged the convenience fee, but there would be a fee for having the terminal in the building.
I think the online link would be fine. We'll start there.
I mean, if you're gonna go there, why would you
Right.
swipe the card?
If you're gonna pay with a credit card, you're probably comfortable with using the internet to pay, so.
I would agree with that, and then
That'd be
just
fine.
the next thing is no.
the fee gets passed on to the customer, so if it's a $200 bill, it's a, I think we're at 2.something%, so they're gonna get a $5
Okay.
extra.
Most people are 3+ now, so. Yeah, so he had a statement, he actually broke it down, looks like Gretchen Schmidt from Invoice Cloud broke it down, so like average bill is about $376.50. Well, I thought she was gonna give like a breakdown of what that would cost to pay, but yeah.
It says 2% or something.
It's like 2.5 or 2.8, it's in the 2 range, higher 2s.
Yeah, 2.95.
So it'd be $9.40 for that average
Allow,
bill.
it looks like it will also allow them to ACH it,
Okay, so pay with the check through.
yeah, for $1.15.
Yeah, that's a straight fee. It's the same system that town clerks always use for like car registrations and stuff.
Anybody got any feelings on that?
Since it's not gonna cost the department anything, I think it's a great idea.
I would agree.
I'll see how it goes on the other end, but that's just gonna affect me, so don't worry about it. I just don't know if each of these is gonna be an individual deposit that I have to, cause that's kinda how the town clerk's one works, but that's not about it.
Like you don't batch them at the end or something like
Yeah,
that?
depending on how it batches and stuff,
It's
it's,
probably batch daily maybe,
yeah,
yeah.
so we'll see what that does, but again, that's nothing that should prevent
It's
us
only
from doing this.
400.
Everybody's gonna pay different batches, and they're like, oh my god.
Do we get a motion to approve that?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any other discussion around it? All in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
I'll let John send an email to Jeremy. That'll be nice.
Think everybody appreciate it.
I hope so.
Means I can get rid of my checkbook file.
Were we the only check you were writing?
Right. Shockingly, yeah.
Oh wow.
Everything else is on the cards.
I didn't ask, did you have a public comment or anything, or you?
No, I'm good.
No, okay.
No, I mean, public comments open.
Yep.
Right. Are water rates going up again at some point?
So I think the way we discussed it at the last budget meeting was, that when we adapted the budget, we had hoped that at the earliest, it would be the last quarter of next year, but there would be one in 2026 if not. And we would try to hold out to 2026.
And I can clarify something, cause at the end of the meeting after you and Courtney had left, Alan and Dick had got talking further, and Dick had said, well, you know, they're gonna raise the rates in June, is what Ben said, they're gonna be having the hearing in the spring. And I wasn't fully paying attention. So to clarify that, when we built the budget originally, we were gonna budget for the staffing that DES wanted, so that included another full licensed operator, and it was, our budget was gonna go up $175,000. So if we did it that
For
way.
one more operator?
It's up 100 now. It was gonna be up 170 something, doing it the other way. So in order to cover that, we were gonna have to hold a hearing like next month and raise them for January 1st to cover that that amount of payroll. But because Justin was able to figure out a better or another way that would work down here staffing wise for next year, we didn't have to raise that much for the budget, so that's why we don't think we're gonna need to raise rates until January of 2026. So there'll be a full year at this current rate. We'll have a hearing this time of year next year to figure out what we're gonna need to raise for 2026, and then there'll be a raise then.
And this time, the public hearing will be held and the rates won't change until the following quarter. So if anyone needs to modify how they use water, they'll be able to. unfortunately, right, at the public hearing we had last time, DES was there and wanted us to double the rate change we were already proposing. And Ben specifically has said that it just couldn't work for the residents here.
Troy Water. You have the wrong number. Alright, thank you.
Does answer your
Gino
question?
Loop.
It does. Do we know where we rank in the state right now?
So it's really hard. There's and maybe I'll post it on that page and we can get it on the other thing. There's a website designed by the University of North Carolina, I think, that is a water and rate tracker, right? It was a project from the school, and I think we need to update probably if we can. And you can compare by size, location, lagoon, like style of processing and all that. So on the sewer side of it, well, when I go through that for systems that are similar size to ours, we fall average to slightly above average in the sewer side of it, but we're below average on the water side.
As rates go?
Yeah. It's really hard to compare to, like a town like Jaffrey that has a ton of commercial vendors on the system, and it really helps out. And then the other unknown in a lot of it is some towns use a lot of taxation to help pay for it. Some towns believe that the system is an asset to the town, so they ask and expect all residents of the town to help support the water and sewer system. And that's, I can't really tell how much of that is included in that tracker part of it, but you can dive in pretty good on it. I don't know, I think Tom was the last person to update that. I think they only ask if you update it every 3 to 4 years or something like that, but maybe we can get new rates in there and that can be looked at. It literally gives you dials, and you're either in the red or the green or the yellow. It's pretty easy to digest. You just gotta make sure you're picking up what you're comparing to. If you took the whole state as a whole, we're kind of, again, we're average to above average on the sewer side of it. We're below average to average on the water side of it. There's a video that I'll probably put on that social media page too that explains that according to DES, that a majority of water and sewer departments are not charging appropriate rates. A lot of us have failing infrastructure, or I should say aging infrastructure, and are coming up with maintenance issues that they can't really afford. It seems like a lot for us, in my opinion, because rates remained low for so long, and now unfortunately we're tasked with trying to make ends meet, and it's a big jump in a short amount of time. But yeah, that's a long-winded answer to, it seems like on one side we're on the low, like there's room on the lower side, on the water side, and we're already average or slightly above. There aren't many places that are our size. I think Greenville's the closest one that's similar in size. They still use lagoons, I believe.
I think Swansea is too, West Swansea.
Yeah. And they pump theirs, don't they?
No, West Swansea. West Swansea has lagoons.
Okay.
But they're in the same situation. They're on the AOs and everything.
Right, and yeah, unfortunately this situation is really not unique to some towns in New Hampshire. I should say the country really, but New Hampshire specifically. And a lot of the problem is cold weather climates for us as well, because lagoons don't function well in the cold weather.
Have any grants been applied for any of this work on the lagoons?
So this stuff has, correct me Adam if I'm wrong, I think we have like a 30% forgiveness on this. Well, it's a not dollar amount, right?
Yeah,
It's like
$240,000, I think, out
a
of
forgiveness on this through the
765.
CWSRF fund.
So it's a very low interest loan, it's like a construction loan, it's like 2% or something, and only based on what we've taken out, so it's not like, they approved us for 765, we're not paying interest on all that. As we withdraw stuff, they keep track, and then once we're through it, then we'll get up to 200 and, it's between 225 and 250, $225,000 that will get forgiven as a grant off of that 765.
But not till probably the end, or,
So yeah, it's forgiveness, so yeah, it's after the note closes. So
Yeah, they
as-
wanna know how much we've used. It looks like for the initial round, we'll be under or right at where we want, which is good. But if we have to start diving into the nitrification part of it, that'll be, we'll have to see where that goes at that point. We'll be a little bit late on the sludge removal part of it to get a full testing cycle in, but we'll certainly know, I think, like, we'll have a good idea what's going on. I think the state will want us to retest another winter, but we should really know. The pre-construction meeting for that is actually, that'll be probably a good time to put that out, is
Next week.
next Tuesday at 10 a.m. So if anybody on the commission wants to be here, we're gonna meet with the guys doing kinda like, well, just like we did with the chemical. And to further go with that, I thought I had it on here, I had it on last week, so I gotta re-add it back then. Yeah, I would like to find either a grant writer, I got an email that we'll talk about later, about someone who offered to do stuff like that. Yeah, there's some money out there, I don't know if this specifically, but there's certainly some help for other areas in here so that we can, take care of some of the, aging equipment.
Okay, how did you address it?
Okay, thanks.
one more actually. What do you got left with hydrant flushing?
It's done.
It's done?
Yep.
I just didn't notice any discoloration, so I just,
So we did a good job.
Can you do it in an order that helps with that?
You have to. When you flush, you always start at the source. So start at the tank, and then work your way out. Always end at a dead end. That way you pull everything out. So when we did yours, we did the hydrant right at the front of the school.
right.
Yep.
And then I'll get back to you.
And then, so I looked it up for Tobin optimum velocities too. So, 'cause you want to be flushing, you don't want to flush too hard, because what you do is you create a vortex inside the pipe, because the friction loss on the outside, it actually, so in a 6-inch pipe, it was only like 175 gallons a minute. It's not very much, and then you get that, you want 2 to 3 or 2 to 4 feet per second of velocity through the main. So
And do you have pressure ratings for different areas in town?
yep, they're written down somewhere. We went through. I think you're right up in your area. You got to be right around 90, 100.
Yeah, I'm thinking that, yeah.
Because I know down here is like 120, the low spot. That's screaming.
Sorry, that was Jude. He was, I wanted to have sent me an email, and I guess it got bounced out. That's why I didn't bring that today, but.
Oh.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, Yeah, I was just gonna show you some information that Jeremy had handed to me. This was like our these must be our two internet.
Yes, most likely.
So cloud-based service costs and then managed service costs. No, this must be,
Computer services line?
yeah. Just has a few notes. Email, migration for new domain. New domain, change Microsoft licenses. Just with a breakdown of what's in there. So I think this is when we were trying to figure out what that yearly cost that we added to the computer services line. This was the breakdown of it.
Okay.
Anybody wants to see that? I think other than that, the credit card service part of it was the other part of that.
So then one other thing, we're on budget still. The tax collector had sent an email about a envelope stuffing machine. It's a automated folding and stuffing machine that she'd like to split costs with the Water Sewer Commission and the Selectmen's office if we're all in agreement. It would supposedly save, well, it would cost like our share would be $600 a year. It can fold like 1,500 pieces of mail and stuff the envelopes an hour, so it would only work for like 20 minutes on our stuff 4 times a year. But I asked Evie and she said it takes her 8 hours to fold and stuff the envelopes 4 times a year. So 32 hours of pay for Evie plus just the annoyance of doing that versus, I mean, I don't know what Evie makes an hour, but $600 a year.
And it frees up.
And it frees up time.
Yeah.
So that's only if the select board agrees that the selectman's office will cover a third of it too. I don't know how much mailing they do that would actually require that machine though. So,
So it would be,
That's daily.
sometimes 4 is, yeah, so we'd save $40.
So they don't seem like a very even split to me.
well, what, you said a third?
Right,
So
I mean,
a third
they,
to the town.
I mean, we probably got them beat by a lot.
Yeah, we don't send that much mail out.
Right,
So
it's,
some
the
just be
tax
like it
collector's
should be-
office should
We
probably
should be
pay
paying
more,
it half
but-
and we
But
should
so
be paying a
anyways,
quarter. so-
anyways, worst case scenario, we pay a third of it, we're saving $40 a year.
Well, I know, but it's the convenience of it.
Oh, and it frees, yeah.
It frees up time too.
I'm sure there's a lot to be done up there.
I don't think we
And how much is that machine?
It's a rental or lease for it's a 5-year contract, $150 a month.
I don't know that we wanna own it, cause then we gotta fix it.
Yeah, it's the maintenance.
No, I'm not saying that, but.
Yeah, so it's $150 a month total. We'd pay $50 if we do it third. So it would sit dormant for us 2 months every quarter, but
Well, what about if there's another document we want sent?
Well, I think you're looking at.
I'm not an expert on it, but I think you just load whatever you want on this tray and you hit a button and it tri-folds it and jams it into an envelope that you put on this tray.
So I don't, yeah, right, that was my next question, like, how do you know that the right bill's getting in the envelope with the right name on it?
So the envelopes aren't named, it's got a clear plastic.
Okay.
So
Yeah, that makes
it
sense.
folds it the right way to do that,
So we're gonna throw away the 10,000 envelopes we already got, or?
No, those have the stamps on them, so we still use those.
Okay.
We wouldn't throw anything out for this.
Well, I just
Yep.
figured there's some downfall here, the way it always works.
I don't think it just,
We don't need to do anything until they decide if they wanna do it.
yeah, but it was more informational tonight, if it sounds like it makes sense to us.
Just say this is the first time hearing it.
Yeah,
You
just send an email.
I mean, when it's up
Yesterday.
to 3 a mail a year, I mean,
I mean, I think it makes
I've
sense.
helped Rhonda before, but Rhonda did most of it, and
Always
it
be
did take
there.
a long time.
That part does, but the cost breakdown doesn't.
I'd agree with that.
yeah, I mean, just shy of 500, we'll just say every
Yeah.
quarter and
Yeah,
we'll say
the
500.
town clerk, I think she does like 2,000 twice a year. Plus, she said she sends 50 to 80 a month on top of that. So,
Yeah, so, I mean,
and I think select board and it's 4 a month, so they probably wouldn't even use the machine.
Yeah, so maybe we still
But-
do the third, but.
But I mean, if the planning board has a mailer that they wanna send out or something, and that'd be by the select board would cover part.
Oh, yeah.
Goes for everybody else. You guys are so nice, you cover everybody else's stuff. all the
Master
time.
plan updates coming up.
Well, you can put it in the legal line.
Or you could rent it out, there we go, we'll be like, oh, you can use our half an hour today, planning board, it'll cost you
$275.
$275.
I'm not planning, but we deny that.
We must have a counter on it so we can just be charged by the.
They can put their code in, like
Yeah.
the printer.
Okay, next line I got,
Oh, sorry, still in budget?
oh, yeah,
One thing that we forgot to do at the budget hearing and at the town, the select board meeting was we didn't bring up the hydrant idea of having it be a warrant article and general taxation.
Oh, yeah.
Brought up the second internet.
Yeah, I
You
think-
knew about it.
Yeah, I think you knew about it, but
I
Brett
don't,
brought it up.
I was gone, I watched it, I don't remember hearing it.
I don't believe we did.
And Ben brought it up, at least just a quick aspect of it, that you guys were, I know, because you guys are still working on figuring out what you're gonna do with
How
it.
much it costs, but I don't think we mentioned that we wanted to suggest that it would be general taxation. That's the part that we need to bring up.
So how do we rectify that?
I mean, whatever, we can just.
You guys have until,
February 2nd or something like that,
Yeah.
we wanna do
I can't even freaking
a
remember.
petition
the date.
article, so.
Hold on. It's
But
not
if
even
we-
petition, it's
if
any
we-
articles or to us. February 6th.
So. if we-
February 6th?
yeah,
February
if-
6th
if
to
we-
get all articles to us.
If we got it written up and present it to them at some point, then they can either support putting it on or not. If they don't, then we can just make a petition article and get 25 residents to sign it, and then it'll go on anyways.
Off the district.
Yeah, it's the first Thursday of February, so that would be the first selectmen's meeting. All warrant articles are due to us. I gotta go through us and then I gotta go through the budget committee.
Anything else on the budget side of it?
Cool. That's all I wrote down.
I actually had a question on that part for the phone billing.
Yeah, maybe that was one of the things.
It was part of it, 'cause I know I was having Sarah look into it too. I guess there's different levels of plans. I don't know what you guys need, or do you guys still need coaxial lines down here? Or not coaxial, but standard phone lines, or can you go to voice over IPs? Do you have alarms that go through it?
Oh, right.
That's the one thing that holds it back.
I think we do, yeah.
And then you also are getting charged for 2 internet lines. Do you need to?
No,
You're getting charged for the second one.
I don't believe we need to, because the only thing,
The skater, like the well's been on.
satellite, these run on phone lines.
So I'll come down and I'll work with you to
Yeah.
figure that out, because
Yeah.
I'm going through and having the whole town checked on who can get off of the old lines, because those are $80 a month.
Yep.
I know anyone with security systems, some of them have to stay on them because of that's what they are.
Yeah, I didn't think about this thing,
Sure.
But if we can get off of as many to voice over IP,
I
it
think we-
just,
yeah.
bam.
We definitely have an extra internet connection.
And then the phone tree can connect between
Yeah.
town hall and here easier as well.
Yeah, I heard that, and that would be great, right? Dial one phone number and just press a number to get that.
Yep.
You'd still have your dedicated phone number, but if someone says, "Oh, I have a question about my water meter spinning out of flying somewhere or something," they
Yep.
call town hall and it's like, I don't know. Unfortunately, I don't know what they're talking about with those, so they let me transfer you to the water and sewer department.
I think that was it, right? Phone and internet.
Yep.
Anything else? I just put this one up, the past due accounts and the threshold and all that, that's a discussion we'll just have to have ongoing. Just kinda keep it in mind on,
Yeah, but the thing about it is like this one is different from the last one we got, as far as. No, I mean, I get the numbers are different because it's a different, but it's not the layout we got the last time. Right?
it's the better of the two. Oh, no.
No, I was gonna say, I disagree with you there. Like,
It's, well,
I think we've gone back.
no, this is the one I liked better, but the first page has, well, the first three are just addresses.
I just, that thing's a little overwhelming, cause it's like 95% of the town's still on there, cause it's not, they're not
The
due.
quarter's not over yet, so
Yeah.
Right.
there's a bunch of people.
Like, I think we need
This
to
one's
just
so
table
easy
that
to
till we
change
can get
because
back
he's not even
to,
on the water system.
huh?
Yeah. Yeah, this will be a work in progress. I think, you know, for the stuff that's like this year, I think we work on how we address like this sheet. But I'm more talking about like, and we're not gonna do this till next, I think after the first of the year, but how do we wanna, like, do we want a threshold? Cause obviously if we're gonna do anything like, I mean, we gotta figure out obviously what's right and what's wrong on this.
Well, I think, whatever, I don't think we need to burn any more time up on it, but it's just my opinion, we need to go through it, because there's a lot of,
Yeah.
like, we need to sit down and just like go through it. Justin needs to go through it, I've already went through it a little bit and just, put what my thoughts behind it.
Yeah, but like
And then-
like you just said, right, like, so we gotta figure out what to, I mean, but they're recent, right?
Yeah.
So either someone
I
else
think
is in
that
that
one,
property or.
there is, and I think when it got switched over to Avatar, it picked his name back up
I
instead
agree.
of that.
Right, and I'm just gonna ask Evie on the, instead of giving us the map and lot, if we can just get the actual physical address instead.
I'm not sure, just I've never seen it in like the system, cause I don't know how to use any internet, so. I don't know what data's in there. I would
Yeah,
just- I would
and
assume
I agree, we don't have to burn a bunch of time on it, but I'm just gonna keep it in here as a placeholder, because we're gonna have to decide on stuff that's like 5 or 6 years old. and we can
Well, there's
find-
some on there that, that's where I disagree, there's some in there that they need to be built, they own the property.
Well, right, that's what we gotta discuss. is
Right.
If,
They own the property still, they need to be paying the bill.
and then there's other ones that are $10, so we're not.
That's not,
Right,
I mean,
So that's what I
that
meant
costs
by-
us more money to go out there.
right, so.
Yeah, I think it's almost $10 for a certified level right now.
Right, so that's what I meant by threshold for trying to
Oh,
collect.
okay, I'm sorry, I thought you
And
meant
then-
that for abatement.
Well, the ones that are $10 that we're not gonna try to collect, we're good, if they're no longer at the property, we're gonna have to decide, well, we're gonna have to abate them to get the books straightened out, right, and get them off this list. And some people
Yeah,
are no longer living, so.
right. I guess that'd be
Right, so.
we're
some
not
of it-
gonna draw up on them ones.
Some of it will be a conversation for the public meeting on how we address it, maybe how we decide to, where the thresholds are, and then a lot of these we'll have to go through individually in a non-public, so that there's a lot of names. But again, a lot of these, did I send a chart to everybody? I just sent it to Ben for the budget, I broke it down to how many are like 1 to 2 years
Yes, you
old,
gave it to everybody,
2 to
I
3
saw
years
that.
old, yeah. So a lot of them are like in that 1 to 2 year old mark, and then there's like a gap, and then there's a lot.
Like
I'm
5
assuming the
and
stuff
6.
that's 5 and 6 years old is probably in error, or Ron had been just taking those off on her own throughout the years. Those are the ones that.
Don't keep that on me.
Those, I thought it was the old one. I have the last one. Those are the ones we're gonna have to decide what to do, so, and then, right, we don't have to do that immediately, but I'm gonna leave it on here as a placeholder. And then Adam, you would ask me for this one, a bounce check procedure.
Yeah, so currently, this came up just cause there was a bounce payment this week, and the building department asked me about our process and what we do, so I printed off our fee structure and I read it to her. And she said, well, the question came up, we specifically call out that a bank fee of $25 will be charged. We aren't getting charged currently by the bank for $25. So they don't wanna charge the $25 because we're not getting charged $25. So I told them I would get clarification on.
Yeah, I don't, if we're not getting charged, I don't think we should be charging, it's gonna be a late fee.
Thoughts?
Or,
I have my own
or
thoughts
we, or
about
we,
that.
yeah, I mean, it costs us money to do
Right.
this. But then their point when I said that, their pushback was, well, it says bank fee of $25.
Okay, right.
So they still weren't comfortable.
Were we getting charged at any point a bank fee?
Not that they can remember. It's just something I think that's
That-
always
I
been
mean,
in there.
yeah.
And they don't
That
do it.
doesn't mean nothing.
So they had me check with the town clerk tax collector, because they're the only ones other than us that take money in, and they also don't charge it unless it's charged by the bank, is how she said they don't have a policy, but that's how they do it with the current tax collector, town clerk. She said it before, she thinks that it was charged every time, but she wasn't positive. So, we could drop the word bank out of that line and then charge them a fee of $25, cause it does cost, we have to send out multiple mailings, and also there's time involved in recording it and processing it again, so.
Well, maybe dropping the bank fee out.
Yeah, I thought
Return
it
check
definitely accrues a cost of some sort, right?
Cause the certified letter fee is in there, so that's fine. They send them a certified letter when they bounce the check. So it says customer will need to pay the amount of the bounce check, a bank fee of $25, and a certified letter fee with a cashier's check, money order, or cash within 14 days to avoid prosecution. So they were fine with billing the 25 if we get charged the 25 by the bank, but they would like us to address this in our fee structure. So it doesn't have to be done right now, but it's just something to take under advisement or think about.
And that's just, what is that paper? That's our,
That's our fee structure that we signed in January.
so we'll have to redo it then.
Yeah, we'd have to drop the word, we'd have to.
That's what I'm getting at.
I think we rewrote it a little bit anyway, so that's all.
Or, we could change it to a $25 processing fee.
Yeah, or penalty of something.
But this is stuff that was approved by the state.
Well, we didn't change anything but the rate, this has been
Yeah,
the
we
same.
didn't touch those pages, the page in Mike's hand.
But it all went there, right?
Yeah, but it said bank fee, so if the bank
That's what I'm
charged
getting
us,
at,
then.
yeah.
So I think if we change it to a $25 processing fee, that'll cover if the bank charges us. And also,
Yeah, this is a few years old. This is the first thing we did.
yeah, January 23 is when we adopted that. So it's almost 2 years old.
Yeah. It's just
Okay. We'll ask everybody thinks about it and we'll discuss it at the next meeting. We'll make it part of that SOP. And we'll have to ratify, well, amend, if we decide, we'll get to amend it either way. Okay, anything else, anything anybody wants added to future, anything anybody wants to bring up for new business? I'll mention again,
So when you said, just, sorry to go back to this, but this is the new bank we went to that didn't charge us for this?
no,
Correct.
what Well, you had said that they don't remember it.
But they don't remember. the-
Well, I just
the
wanna
other
make
bank
sure,
charge
well, no,
now.
I was just,
Oh, that
I
the
would
bank
just-
doesn't charge it,
I didn't know, I wanted to clarify that
right?
we changed this, and then we've moved to a different bank, and then all of a sudden,
They start charging.
then they start charging us, and then we.
So if we do changes, then I would probably think that we should say any bank fee plus a $25 processing fee. So that way, if the bank charges something,
I
it's
got you,
in there.
that makes
So that would
sense.
future proof it, so we don't have to throw a number in there that's gonna change with different stuff.
I got Greenville's rates written here on this piece of paper, I was trying to compare them, but they kind of moved it differently.
Yeah, don't they bill monthly
I think they do, I think they do.
or annually?
I
It's
think
one
it-
or the other, it's either too often or not enough.
I think it was semi-annually.
Yeah.
Bi-annually, because, I mean, that's the flat water charges, 287,
Yeah, that was 6 months.
and the flat sewer charge is 850. So you have to be over $1,000
Every budget cycle.
$1,200 every quarter. We're the same
It's
as that.
1,000 gallons too.
Oh, right. You'd have to do the math, they charge per
Yeah.
but I'll figure that out. I don't know,
I'm not buying that.
What's that?
I'm not buying that.
That was a cheaper one.
Okay. Anything on the operators report?
Yep.
I don't know why I kept this on there, but go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't end up doing anything with the leak detection.
Yeah.
A long
Um,
time before that paid for
It comes
itself.
around every year.
The generator, I texted him for an update. He was supposed to be done with it today, and I haven't heard back from him. He was wiring it in, so I guess I will find out tomorrow. Gravel pack, that's the big one. So you guys got my email. It was
Yeah.
sent out. So when we went up there, I went up there with Cushing yesterday. They initially thought it might have been something with the VFD. So we decided to jump the VFD and just run it off the breaker. The well fired up out of the blow off. So we thought, okay, it's definitely the VFD. So I shut the blow off to put water into the system, and we were only getting 14 gallons a minute. So we ended up pulling the pump. He said the wet end is pretty much shot. The VFD was putting out some weird voltage, he said. When he tested the motor, he said they can bolt a new wet end up to the motor, but he said we'll be lucky if we get a year out of the motor. So they sent us a quote. That's for the motor, motor starter, and a pump. Said the pump wasn't sized. He doesn't believe the pump was sized right. The wet end was sized right. Because there's a lot that goes into it. I'm not sure what Barry Miller did when they did all this, but they got to factor in length of pipe to the tank, how many wells, flows, velocities, friction losses, a lot that goes into it when they size it. But this is the quote from Cushing. I don't know if you guys want me to reach out to Barry Miller and say, what the hell? So things
This is
been.
one we replaced in August of 20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I printed up, right.
So I did a breakdown too.
Just a break.
The hours. I don't know when the paper went. So basically, I took I thought it was in 22, August or October of 22 that you guys did it. Right here. So I did all of 23 gallons pumped out of that well. The last quarter of 22 and so far in 24 and total. So I added all those up, divided by 87 gallons a minute, and divided by 60, and that comes out to 7,283 hours that are on those motors. That was on that motor.
But that was if we installed it a year before we actually did, so,
It would actually be less.
okay, wow.
Either way, I mean, our
Right.
old wells were
We should
10 plus
should
years
get
old.
10 years anyways.
Yeah.
with hardly, some didn't get exercise, I think that one we used regularly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. This
Right,
that's
That's our
Number
money
one
well.
source.
big. Yeah.
Well, I think Barry needs to be called.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I mean, like, cause he's got it sized for 7.5, Cushion's got it for 5 horse. And there again, I mean, we refitted this whole well.
Yeah. Oh
We
yeah.
refitted
They,
this whole well to this setup, this was his design, so, I mean, honestly, I wish you never even called Cushion, he should've come and pulled it.
yeah.
Well,
But the,
yeah,
the
Because
other
he's gonna
thing
send us
is
a bill for a couple $1,000s for what he's done, and,
the other thing is I didn't want to wait a month.
well, I know, but, I mean, we should at least given the guy the respect of
Yeah.
saying, your designs is effed up, and what do you wanna do? We can't wait,
Yeah.
because,
I think we can still do that, but Justin did call me and I had agreed to just get someone to look at it, we can figure it out. Well, I think we were both hoping it was something pretty.
I was hoping it was something simple.
Right.
I mean, cause this was a whole different setup, and is this why that well was like that?
Well, I think that's the information that was good to have them in first.
And it's
before
a-
we talk to them.
I mean, now. I guess,
Alright.
I mean,
Where is that?
and the pump here is $3,000,
Yeah, what
and
did
this one here is
didn't we print out the quote?
8,000.
Yeah, I think we both did, we should have
Yeah.
several copies of that.
Yeah.
Fortunately, you got it right there, bro.
Oh,
No, I got well 2 and well 1.
yeah, that's well one, right? Let's see this. Yeah, it doesn't really say, let's see.
That's 2 though.
This is just this is like labor. No, this is
That's one.
clean gravel well and inspect. Plumbing equipment.
Oh, okay, so this is just, no, so it's $7,000 for everything, parts, pump and everything from Barry Miller installed.
No, this was labor side of it, that was parts.
This is the cleaning.
Well, it also says install, well, I mean, I don't know, right, these are the parts.
Oh, so maybe that was part
So new
of,
stainless steel pump, new motor.
so that's the parts, he was gonna reinstall the pump in this, within this.
Nickel reducer coupling.
Well, that makes sense. Remove and install pump lump sum, $1,800. Are we sure there's not a third bill here because of the, oh no, right here. He didn't charge us. For shop labor. Oh, right, because remember, he did, originally, he did,
Yeah.
and I was,
You talked, but yeah.
right,
Yeah.
it was like $2,000, and I
Yeah.
wasn't having that.
Yeah, so I definitely think we should, I think now know what we know,
Yeah.
I don't know if we can just say.
Well, I
This
mean, I
isn't
just don't wanna
working.
write it, go ahead.
Well, that just that this isn't working. This is, you don't necessarily have to say Cushing was there, but this is what we found wrong with it,
Mm-hmm.
you know? Cause we thought it was something simple, I had someone look at it, I mean, they were
And
already.
Aaron's not there anymore, right?
I don't think so.
At what?
Wasn't he the one, didn't we have 4? Didn't they
Yeah.
come out for 4?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for Barry.
Both.
Oh,
Yeah.
We gotta like put one of these guys on our team because we're like playing them against each other.
Yeah.
Cushing came out for 4, diagnosed it, and Barry came in and fixed it. And now we're like kind of doing the same thing to him again.
Yeah.
Where
Well, I mean, this is, yeah. I
this is
know.
Barry's specialty, was cleaning these wells. That's why he was Cushing. I don't think does shallow wells, gravels. I don't think he cleans them.
No, I don't know.
I don't know,
believe
either
what
way, Barry's, I mean, we gotta see if he's gonna help us out.
Yeah.
For being 2 years, old. I don't wanna definitely spend,
No, definitely.
Well, it's the same money. It really, honestly, when it comes down to it, I think it ends up being the same money.
well, I mean, that was the total.
That's cleaning and everything.
Oh, right,
That's why I'm
Yeah.
saying, I give you
right, I get
the
what
11,000 here is, and you add all this up.
you're getting, you understanding this, Adam?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's about the same money.
Yeah.
So we paid to repair both gravel pack wells last year. And now one,
Our main source is down.
our number one producer is down.
Well, it's not down, it's what it's permanent for, right? I mean,
No, it's
no, I know it's down, but what I'm saying is
The pumps don't work.
that one's what we're most permanent for.
yeah.
The other
Yeah.
one is only permanent for like 60, so we
Yeah.
can't over 60.
Yeah. Correct.
She'll take it, but
Okay. You were running the other one the other day, you was gaining, right? So
Yeah.
we're not gonna run out of water,
No.
but,
Yeah, we'll be.
how about 4? So
Well-
is 4 online now?
I didn't start that one. I can run it. I just didn't start it yet.
Yeah, but how about the parts?
Yep, they're all in.
the
Oh,
song
everything's all
starts
set.
in,
The soft start's not in, but I can run.
yeah,
I can run 3.
Right, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. No,
Everybody's
Yep.
got a different number for it.
No, I just
We'll just start
fired
calling
up.
it that oddball.
I'll
34.
we'll be
34, 43.
The tank will be full by morning, so
Alright, and then, and we exercised, I don't wanna get off topic, we exercised the other two regardless of whether we
Yep.
used them or not anyway, so that was the
Yep.
problem, why we had to fix those anyways, we weren't exercising.
Yep.
Do the SOP. So, are we in agreement that we gotta at least bring it up to Barry and see what he's gotta say about it? I agree with what you're saying about not doing that, but Cushing was here for something else, weren't they?
No, 4.
No, I know, but like
Yeah.
recently, when we had talked, no,
No.
alright.
I think Cushing was contacted when we went to talk about cleaning these.
Right.
And
I
he
think we got a
did.
quote from both, didn't we?
No, he said he recommended Barry.
yeah.
Okay,
He has a bunch of knowledge on these, all the wells.
alright, so let's start there and see what Barry says. and,
Yep.
But we gotta be, I think Courtney was right, we gotta just let him know that we needed it
Yeah.
fixed yesterday.
Yep.
What was Cushing's timeline?
By the 28th, they could have it.
So that means Barry can have it too.
Monday.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, I guess anybody questioning, I would question the sizing here. Why do we have?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna just go backwards on this a little bit. He recommended Barry, saying Barry was the wash well guy, the
Yeah.
shallow well guy, and he's got a 7.5 in it, and he's only putting a 5. So I would want to know why, if the specialist is quoting a 7.5 and he's only doing a 5, why? And we were also told by Aaron, and you can question Barry this, that pump was rebuildable, and that's why we went with that pump.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
meaning
I'll
when this
question-
problem happens, we'd be able to tug it, rebuild the end of
It's
it, and
tugged.
put it back.
It's right there on the floor.
I mean, they talked about rebuilding the pump too, originally, until we got it out on the ground.
Yeah.
Alright, you're comfortable with that?
Yep.
Anything else?
We can get Bert down here, cause he was there for that conversation.
Do you really want to do that.
I think we just gotta compile some information and just do it.
Yeah, I'll
I think it's
Let
gonna be
everybody know what.
pretty obvious, but we're, as long as.
Well, we have to fix it, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
so, I mean, I don't know if we wanna make it a motion or vote for that, I don't know, we have to, but we gotta
Yeah.
fix it.
I think we need more information, I don't know what we're making a
Yep.
motion on.
Yeah,
Well, we can put a dollar figure on it, right? And where we're getting, we know where we're getting it from, because it's the water side.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion. You wanna make one?
I'll make the motion to approve it for the Cushion's quote of $10,946 unless Barry Miller's gonna honor it.
yep.
Second.
Any other discussion around that?
Don't be nice to him.
No.
Do you wanna just make the motion to authorize Justin to spend
Yes.
up to that?
Yeah,
Without
okay,
mention?
yeah, make the, cut for Justin Joyce.
And that comes out of,
The water, right?
There's nothing in the water project account, there's not enough to cover that number.
Awesome.
I see the sheet that you're using, just like the number.
Yeah.
There you go.
Did you ever talk to Bart up there,
No.
just this young kid?
Yeah, the kid and that, or Catherine.
Because Bart has worked on these wells too, I would just ask them to pull the file
Yep.
and see what their thoughts processes, and nothing against this young guy, but. I mean, it's sounding to me like this thing burned out because it was overworked. I mean, you know, right? I mean,
Wouldn't think so.
well, I wouldn't think so either, but I mean, it's just, I guess my concern is we're going downhill here with horsepower, so.
Yeah.
Like, if it's in overworked, then,
If 7's overworked, 5 is probably gonna be very overworked.
right,
would-
I don't wanna, I just don't wanna be
Yeah.
visiting this in 6 months, I mean,
Yeah.
like, so, I mean, I guess
All right,
my advice would be run some questions out, or if you wanna call me, we can get on a phone call chat with them and I can
Yeah.
help with, you know, cause I don't know.
so, the motion's still on the table for,
We gotta have it fixed, we gotta have it online, we can't, I mean, we're
what
gonna
do
be.
we, how do we pay for that?
Overspend lines in the budget,
Right.
it's just gonna come out of the operating budget. Unless you wanna take it out of the PDIP.
I don't know the best route on that, I'll be honest.
I personally don't wanna keep hitting the bank account. It never seems to make it back. Can we leave that a little open-ended until we talk to,
Yep.
Ben?
Yeah, we don't have to have that line in the motion, we're just approving the expense.
Okay. I'd rather talk to Ben, that would be my opinion.
Alright, so for clarification, the motion will just be that in case this is our last resort, Justin's authorized to spend the total estimated cost of $10,946, should he need to. Seconded by Bill. Any other discussion around that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes or abstentions? Okay. Jeez.
Bleh.
Did you leave?
Yep.
I did some quick math while you were talking, yeah, we're way under
Well, they're third party now, Mike,
Right,
remember?
I know, but, right, but I mean,
They're third party. And we can go down that road.
in comparison.
Well,
Alright, so you answered the soft-start part of it, still waiting on
Yeah.
all right, Justin,
I
give us
do-
some good news.
Well, I have a couple of abatements.
I said good news, buddy.
Non-public, or do we do those in public?
Do in public unless it's for an inability to pay.
Just don't use the names.
Yep. This one came with a letter. The first one, I didn't read the letter yet, but I did go up there because his bill was astronomical.
Okay.
It was like,
Yep, so I saw that on the warrant and marked it.
Is there like an abatement number from billing yet, or is this?
1724.
Thank you.
Ironically, it's the same as the other one.
They've done that a couple times to us with a number the same.
And so,
Throw an A on one of those and a B on the other, please.
is there any clarification in that?
Yeah, let me get to it, it's Chris, it's been a while, so.
I did go there.
1724A?
Should be the one that Mike had the letter on.
I did
Yeah,
go.
that's this one.
I did go there, and I advised him to put in for an abatement because Ebby saw that his bill was,
But the meter's reading right?
the meter was fine.
Yeah.
And what it was is, he had a leak while he was on vacation that one of his relatives found and shut it off. And then when he got home from vacation, his outside spigot was on. Somebody had turned on his outside spigot and was just running water. They used like 14,000 cubic feet or something crazy. So I just let him know that it'd be wise to put in for an abatement or something, because I kind of felt bad for him.
I feel bad for everybody.
Not everybody. I don't feel bad for
Feel
you.
bad too, the only.
I know why.
This is not, any kind of thing, but the water was, it's not like there was an error, right? The water was used, it's just a matter of.
Is there a?
There's nothing on this. There's a name if you.
No, not even the name, I'm just curious about the numbers.
It doesn't even, this
Yeah,
doesn't
it
have it either, so.
Is it on the?
Oh, probably.
Oh, it's on the wall.
This one actually says the bill was for $33,134.70.
So what's on
They were
here?
away.
Wow.
For like a month.
Wow.
3 weeks they were gone.
Is that, so, let's go to you on that. Is that, would that be typical? Typical water usage out of an open spigot for a month? I guess would be my
Well,
question.
there was
Oh,
two
yeah.
problems. Yeah, there was.
Yeah. If you figure you fill up a swimming pool, how long does it take to fill up your swimming pool?
2 days.
And how many cubic feet? If they're
I
going
don't
for a
know, it
month.
was only, my bill was $500, $600.
Yeah.
This doesn't have the meter. This has nothing on it.
No meter reading, right?
No meter readings.
No use. All right.
Yeah, we need the actual bill.
But the other, see, that was what I liked about the other one. The other warrant, because it showed it.
Do we have a copy of the other one?
The other
I'll
one
sit with her at
has.
some point, we'll try and get one. I'm sure it's a matter of clicking on and off.
Yeah, so,
The other one has the bill. She gave us.
and anyways, it's saying it is, on the sewer side is $1,908.70, and on the water side it's $826.
So, for me, I could be convinced otherwise, but I feel like abating the sewer down to what their normal sewer usage is, I'd be fine with that, but the water was used. I know it wasn't used on purpose, and it wasn't used because of a decision they made, but the water went through their pipes and from our system.
That we treated, that we pumped.
That we-
And we're buying an $11,000,
Yeah.
and we're buying an $11,000 pump
I
to
mean,
get it there.
if somebody can convince me otherwise, but I'd be comfortable with abating the sewer portion. If,
Because it
Because-
came out the spigot or on the ground, it
Right.
didn't go through the
Didn't
sewer
go through-
pipe.
Right, right.
Yes.
Yeah, it looks like they had a leaking connection on their sprinkler system that was noticed and fixed, and then this thing is not about.
Well, no.
Well, they always claim that some kid went over there and
Yeah, well,
opened the
that kinda
spigot,
sounds a little
and while they were gone.
suspicious.
Oddly
there.
enough,
And that would
not
be-
the first person who said that they found a spigot open on their home.
Right.
And that would be
But,
vandalism, and they could have their homeowner's insurance.
at
instead
any
of
rate,
vandalizing.
if you saw where this one was, you would find it very odd. Somebody, you know what I mean, like, it's
I
not.
would just naturally agree with what Adam had said.
Oh, I agree with what he's saying, but it just, this one's not in the spot that just a random little kid went over there.
No, right, but I mean, it didn't go through the sewer, right, so
Right.
if we're gonna, I feel the same way Adam does about it, yep. We didn't treat it down, we treated it going up, we didn't treat it coming
So we're gonna make a motion and,
back. Well, we need to see the, we'd have to come up with a number, we need to see the bills do that. Right,
You want me to get that from Evie?
if you could, yeah.
Yep.
well, we still
But he
wanna make
says,
this,
what was the average sewer bill?
We don't know, right, yeah.
Yep.
so we wanna just make that motion, then it goes back to the average sewer bill? So we don't have to have this come back?
How do we determine average, how are we gonna
You can
determine it?
do that.
Yeah. I can find that from Evie.
just look back the last 3 quarters and
Right.
determine an average sewer bill.
Yeah, that's, just so it doesn't have to come back here.
If people are comfortable, I'm all right with that, yeah.
Alright.
So that's what, I'll make a motion to abate the sewer side of it back to an average of the last 3 sewer bills on 17-24A. And the water side of the bills remains. Do you need numbers or you got them?
Yeah.
And Justin's gonna get the obtain them.
I believe that they requested it. If it's any more than usual, they would just need to set up a payment to them.
Yep.
Second on that,
I'll
Yes.
second them.
I'll second.
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 That's the
All right, the second one. All I got here.
Ironically, the
Oh,
same number.
sorry. 1724B.
Yep.
Hot water heater broke. Request sewer portion to be abated. And then we got a copy of it.
Do we usually get a copy? I feel like we usually get a copy of a repair.
We can repair, but we
or
need a copy of the repair.
to-
so-
Okay. So I can bring this to Ed, or I'll get a hold of him. Say, do you have a repair bill, something, receipt?
Let me bet.
And give me a check. Send it
But I like having this thing here.
Make sure it's all legal.
Do you have that?
I don't know why she did it. There's a reason why.
Yeah, I'd like to see their average.
Yeah.
So I'll say table pending.
Yeah.
This math doesn't.
Doesn't math?
Would say- That is. Huh? No, that's comes out to the average.
No, what she has written is abating on the sewer portion does not, the total doesn't amount to what she had written in the lines, the new total does not. She has different things written on it anyway.
No, I don't want to pull. Is that what you brought?
Yeah, we'll get that, I guess.
They're good for you.
Yeah, well, can't do the multiple.
Get down to that one doorway.
And the other two things I have, I emailed that to
You
everybody.
want the bubble gum out of my, when I'm done?
And then I gave you the crayon one.
That was part of yours. Let's stick that. Another page of that somewhere else in there. That was that.
Yep.
That's the other
I don't know if we go in non-public for those.
one. Sure, cause I got some that'll go with it, I guess.
Is that all we got?
I think so.
Perfect.
Anything else they wanna add?
We're gonna offline.
So,
Under what?
9183, I don't think I have my list with me.
Both of them can be under L.
I don't know if this one would be under L, would it? We're gonna,
It's a 91A.
L.
well, that one would be, yeah,
The other one,
it's just a reputation.
Yeah.
Whatever that one would
Reputation is.
be. I know I had a list.
I think A. Somebody can look it up, yeah.
For some reason, I thought A too, that was the first one to go, none of the worst at that.
Which one we wanna do first?
No, reputation is actually
C?
C. A is dismissal, promotion, and compensation.
Oh, let's do that.
That could be the next one.
Am I dismissed?
Is your name on that?
C, D, compensate.
You would think. I mean,
Oh,
they don't always follow.
Alright,
Which one we wanna do first?
wait till he gets clearance and where he's offline.
You gotta make the motion.
Yeah, which one we wanna go into first?
Oh,
Legal or reputation?
just do,
Let's do that one first.
okay, C.
C? Alright.
C.
Reputation.
Alright, roll call.
Aye.
It hasn't been seconded yet, huh?